All right, now we're doing Q&A. I work for a software startup that got acquired last year by a big corporation. During my annual review, I asked about career trajectory and expectations for promotion and growth on my team. I led our sales efforts and doubled our revenue over the past year. My manager informed me that he does not know what's next for my role / promotion-wise, as career growth on our team and within the corporate organization may change. Any advice you would be willing to offer here? Okay, so 1, congratulations for doubling your revenue year over year. That's pretty awesome. I love those kind of growth numbers. 2 is, we're going through this right now. Acquisitions are funny times. Like, you have a new boss, you have a new parent company. You don't necessarily know what they're looking for or what their expectation might be, or honestly what their problems are, or the way they think about salary, the way they think about promotions, the way they think about compensation, the way they think about revenue goals, right? So I think one of the things you've got to be a little bit patient about with your new company and your new parent company is, hey, you don't know what they're about. You don't know what their values are. You don't know what their goals are like. You don't have a real firsthand sense of what their history is or what's important to them. I think you're doing exactly the right thing by asking questions. The one thing I would say you should be patient about is sometimes you just need to take a little bit of a back seat to that. Sometimes you need to put your promotion and your career growth conversation on a little bit of a back seat until you understand the environment that you're in. Nobody likes it when somebody is like pounding on the table like me, and they're like, holy shit, we've got all this other stuff to figure out. Or they may say, hey, our expectation in this category is that revenue growth should be 4x every year. You're actually performing at half the rate. Obviously, that's very unlikely. But I think the biggest and best thing to do here is, 1, get to know as many people as possible from your acquiring company. So get to know people. If there's a meet and greet with the CEO, take advantage and go to it. If there's a chance to learn from new managers or managers who are coming over from the parent company, do it. Ask questions of your boss, your boss's boss, your peers, other managers, the HR team. Ask questions of everybody about, hey, what is it that the acquiring company values? How do they think about career growth? What's the average tenure of people who've been at that company? What do they seem to like? What's their culture like? Just start asking all sorts of questions. I think you probably need to give it 3 months to let the dust settle of the acquisition. And then you can kick yourself into high gear and say, hey, this is what I'm doing here. This is what I understand about the new company. This is what you understand about the goals for your company in the context of the parent company. And as a result, you can be really informed about advocating for yourself. Advocating for yourself when you don't understand the environment you're in is bound to be less effective than advocating for yourself when you understand the environment you're in. All right, second question. I work for a very small nonprofit organization with only about 8 full-time employees. I wasn't actively looking for a job, but a new position just reached out to me on LinkedIn. I'm currently going through the interview process with them, and it's looking good. Do you have any advice on how to leave an organization that you learned a lot from while not feeling like you're putting them in a bad position? Yes, of course. So one is, that's awesome that you've been, picked out of LinkedIn and that you're pursuing something that you think might be interesting to you. The first thing I would do is make sure that whatever role you're going to pursue offers something that scares you, that challenges you, that pushes you forward, that pays you more or gives you a better title. But really make sure that the next step you're taking is going to open new doors for you and give you new experience and new opportunities. The second thing is, I think your startup or I think your nonprofit will understand that you want to grow as a person and you want to grow professionally. What I would do is be pretty straight up with them. So you say, hey, you either can tell them as part of your interview process. I think the more conservative and safer approach is to tell them after you've accepted a job. is to say, hey, I've taken a new opportunity. Here's why. Here's what I'm hoping to gain from it. Here's what I loved about working here. Here's what I learned here. Here's what I'm so proud that I contributed to this place. And here's what I would recommend the transition be for me to move out of the company. You could say, hey, I'd like to give you 3 weeks notice and to accomplish these things. You might say, hey, I'd like to give you 2 weeks notice because that's standard and here's what I can do. But I think the more forthright you are and the more proactive you are, the better that conversation will be. You have to allow room for your manager or your nonprofit to react. They're going to be sad. They might be mad. They might try to keep you. They may be like, good riddance, see you later. That's obviously unlikely, but you've got to allow room for them to react. And then you want to be a really clear partner in terms of, hey, this is what I would like to finish up before I go. I think what companies or nonprofits resent is when you leave them in the lurch. And what I think they appreciate is really direct, forthright communication about how you would like to leave. And what you would like to get done, and also, the appreciation for what you've learned. Third question, I'm a little bit of a fish out of water when it comes to corporate positions due to being a nurse. I have a non-clinical position that I basically created for myself. I was looking for other opportunities, and that got back to my upper management. I told them that I may have an offer, and they said that they will work with me in order to keep me. Was that a poor choice? I ask this because I don't have anything on paper to bring back to them to perhaps negotiate an increase in pay. Okay, no, I don't think that was a poor choice at all. Here's what I would say is you clearly want more from your work. So you have two choices. You can go get more from your work by working elsewhere, or you can get more from your work by getting more from where you work. So I think the best thing to do is not to put it in the context of an offer. What I would do is to have a conversation with your upper management and say, look, I love it here. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. This is what I'm really passionate about doing. This is the type of compensation that I need to do it. This is the type of resources or support that I need to execute it. And this is what I'm going to give you in return, right? This is what I will contribute to the organization. This is what I'll contribute to the company. This is what I'll contribute to the hospital or whatever the environment is that you work in. But I think it's a really good thing to just say, hey, I'm in it to win it with this position. I'd love to stay here. In order for me to stay here, it would need to look like this. And as a result, I will deliver this in return. Like if you bet on me, you give me more salary, you give me more responsibility, you give me more resources, I'm going to deliver for you in terms of more productivity or more product or more whatever it is you do all day. The thing with this though is once you go down this path, if they don't say, great, here's more money, or great, here's more resource, you're either going to have to be like, ooh, just kidding, I'm going to stay anyways, or you're going to need to bite the bullet and go be serious about working somewhere else. So just think a little bit about your timing. I would not put getting a raise in the context of another offer. You don't want to lie about that. But I would put it in the context of what you can contribute and what you can do and how you're doing it, and see what they say. And if they don't come through for you, then you should go pursue that other opportunity.